Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys every single vehicle in the Crew 2. This is absolutely everything, and I'm going to go through it and show you my reactions to everything, and I'm really excited to go through it because we're going to start right here at Abarth and go all the way through basically the Crew 2's car list alphabet. So we'll start with Abarth. We've got the 124 Rally, which is awesome. Great place to start. The 124, the normal 124, and then we've got the 500 Abarth. We've also got the 500 Abarth monster truck, which is kind of loony. And if we go to Acura, we have the 2017 NSX. Pretty simple car, pretty basic car, but definitely a really cool technologically advanced vehicle. Alfa Romeo, we've got the 4C. We've got the 8C Competizione, which is a gorgeous car, and it sounds so good. It's so fast. We've got the 8C Competizione touring car, which is also amazing. Now on to Aston Martin, we have the V12 ZAGATO, we have the V8 Vantage S, which all these cars are gorgeous, they really are. The 2012 Vanquish, which is a Ubisoft Club car, and then we have the Vulcan, which is a ultimate car, which you need to beat the Pro Racing Champion to earn that vehicle. Once we move to Audi, we have the R8 V10 Plus and the TTRS Coupe. Couple pretty simple cars, but if you like Audi, you'll definitely enjoy both of those. Now on to the Bs. For Bentley, to start, we've got the Continental SUPERSPORTS, which I actually really like that car. I know it's a boat and it's super heavy, but I still really like it. We've also got the Continental SUPERSPORTS Touring Car Edition, which that one, to be honest, is like kind of weird, but I love the way it's set up, like the splitter, the dual canards, the massive wing on the back. It's pure race car. Now on to BMW. We've got a pretty good variety here. The M Performance M4 racing car, which is an Icon 500 car. We've got the 2017 M2. We've got the 2014 M4, which is gorgeous in that color, by the way. We've got the 2011 M5, as well as the 2011 M5 Drift Edition, which is basically like a drift car, like drift type car. We've got the motorcycles now, the R1200 GS Adventure, the R1200 GS Adventure Rally Raid Edition, and the 2015 S1000RR. That'll definitely be in my bike garage later. We've got the 2010 X6M. We've got the Z4 GT3, 2011 Z4 GT3. We've also got the 2011 Z4, just a standard Z4, as well as a drift edition of the Z4, which means you can use it as a drift type car. We've got the Rally Raid edition as well of the Z4, which is going to be really, really interesting. So we're going to go back and go to Cadillac now. We've got the 2012 Escalade, the Rally Raid Escalade, which is amazing. That thing I need. We've also got the Touring Car Edition Escalade, which is hilarious, and I want it. I want everything that is to do with that thing. We've also got the 57 Eldorado Brougham, which I think that's how you pronounce that, but I don't think it's going to be fast, but I think it's going to be hilarious. Now on to Chevy. We've got the 69 Camaro RS combined with different versions of it. For example, the Rally Raid Edition. We've also got the Rally Cross Edition, which is going to be interesting to drive. And we've also got the Touring Car Edition, which is just absolutely badass. It's just incredible. Now on to the 2010 Camaro SS, the 5th gen. We've got the normal one. We've also got the Drift car. We've also got the Rally Raid car, as well, which is really cool, as well as the Rally Cross car, and not to be outdone, the Monster Truck Edition, which is hilarious, and the Touring Car Edition, which is a pure race car. Now on to the 71 Camaro, which is one of my favorites personally. I wish there were some more versions of this car. We've also got the 17 ZL1, which is an Icon 100 car. We've got the C2 Corvette, 63 C2 Corvette with the pop-ups. We've got the C3 Corvette, again with the pop-ups. We've got the C6R, which I'm really glad is here because it's a really freaking awesome car. It's just an awesome race car. We've got the base C7 Stingray. We've also got the C7 Drift car. We've also got the C7 drag car, which that thing is a monster. Now on to the 67 Impala Sports Sedan, a little bit of a change of pace. And then the 67 Impala Sports Sedan Touring Car Edition, which is a wild, crazy monster. We've got a Silverado 1500 Touring Car Edition, which is basically like, that's like basically one of those NASCAR trucks. And then we've also got the 2010 Silverado 1500 just normal, then the monster truck version, which the monster truck version is really fun. The monster truck version is awesome. We've also got the 1500 Evo 1 Rally Raid Edition, as well as the 1500 EVO 2 Rally Raid Edition, which are a little bit different, but I like both, honestly. So let's go ahead and go back and go to Chrysler now, which for a single car, the 300 SRT8, which is a cool little sleeper. Now onto Citroen, which is the C3 Racing, and that thing is actually hilariously fast in the right environment anyway. So this is the DCB M31 wide body, which is a boat, and that's about all I know about that. Now on to Dodge. We've got the 70 Challenger RT, the 2012 SRT8 392 Challenger, and I'm assuming, yeah, a drift edition of that car, which it'll be interesting to see how it drives. Then the edition of the Challenger that you have to have, the drag edition, that's basically a demon. We've got the Rally Raid edition of the Challenger. There's so many versions of the Challenger, it's freaking hilarious. The Rally Cross edition, the Monster Truck edition, the Touring Car edition. I mean, and then you get to the actual Hellcat. So there's so many different versions of the Challenger, it's ridiculous. Now on to the Charger RT, which is, I mean, dude, you got like the hidden headlights, they fold back, it's freaking amazing. We've got a drift edition of that same car, we've got a Rallycross edition of that same car, as well as a touring car edition of the Charger, still with the iconic headlights. We've got the new Charger as well, which is a 2012 SRT8, and then a bunch of different versions of that, including Rallycross, touring car. Dude, like, I love how well Dodge is represented here. We've got the Viper GTS, Drift Edition Viper GTS, as well as Drag Edition, and one of my personal favorites, the Viper Competition Coupe. The Competition Coupe is just incredible. And then finishing off with the 2010 SRT10 Coupe, which is one of my favorite body styles of the Viper. Now, back to the actual car list itself, onto Ducati, which is, I should say, car and bike list. This is a 2015 DIAVEL. Moving on to the HYPERMOTARD, as well as the HYPERMOTARD Rally Raid Edition, which is basically like a set of knobbies and a couple of other things. The Monster 1200S, we've got the Monster 1200S Rally Raid Edition, which is actually really badass looking. We've also got the Panigale R, which is a 2015, and that thing, oh my god, is it beautiful. Now on to Ferrari. Now, this is going to be an awesome list to go through because there's really no bad car here. So, the 365 GTB4 Competizione in 1971 car, the 2011 458 GT2, which is going to be insane. We've got the 2014 458 Speciale. We've got the 2016 488 GT3. That thing is going to be just nutty fast. We've got the 2013 F12. We've got the 87 F40. My god. Dude, what a dream car. The F40 LM, which is another ultimate dream car, and the LaFerrari, which is Icon 600. This thing is going to be just insane to drive. Now on to Ford, which there's going to be no shortage of represented cars from Ford. The 2017 F-150 Raptor race truck, the 2010 F-150 Raptor, with also a monster truck version of that particular truck, and also, funny enough, a touring car version of the Raptor. I don't know how well that would work. This is a Rally Raid Raptor EVO 2. This is a actually very iconic car. The 2010 Focus RS, this is the Focus RS that I wish we got in the US. Now, they also have a drift edition of it, which is kind of weird because that was technically a front-wheel drive car, but we'll gloss over that. We've also got a drag edition of it, which is also weird because it's got the big tires in the back. We've got a Rally Raid edition of the 2010 Focus RS and a Rally Cross edition, as well as a touring car edition. Many, many, many editions. So we've also got the 2016 Focus RS and a RSRX, which is a Rallycross car. We've got the 05 Ford GT, which is going to be really fun to play with, a drift edition of the 05 Ford GT, as well as a touring car version, which they kind of have to have that, because if they're going to have any kind of versions, they may as well have the touring car version, because that thing's a race car. Now, onto the 2017 Ford GT, which they don't really have any other versions of that I can see yet. The 2011 Mustang GT, which we have the newer Mustang GT, but if you wanted to go with, like, the previous generation with the solid axle, you could. There's also a drag race version of that car, and a Rally Raid version, and a monster truck version, and a touring car version. That is nuts. Now, this is the car we have, the 2015 5.0 Fastback. Now, there's also a drift edition of that car, which we're going to try out later on, and then the GT500 from the previous generation. Now, on to Frauscher, I guess, 1414 Demon. It is a boat. That's about all I know about it. Let's see. What is this? Let's see. Granville Brothers Aircraft GBR1. These are stunt planes. These are hilarious. These are ridiculous. And they're a lot of fun. Now on to Harley Davidson. Iron 883 Sportster and 2017 Street Glide. Honestly, I don't understand why they don't have a 1200 Sportster. I mean, the 883 is cool, but like, why not have a 1200? It doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Harmon Rocket. These are also stunt planes, which, by the way, are, like, so much fun to mess with, it's not even funny. Now on to Honda for the 2016 Civic Type R. This is the Euro Type R, not the one that we got in the US. On to Hummer now. This is where it gets fun. H1 Alpha, Rally Raid H1 Alpha, Rally Raid Evo 2 Rally Raid H1 Alpha. Just, like, so much stuff. Indian motorcycles. These are interesting. A 2015 Chief Dark Horse and a 2015 Scout. I feel like if I was going to look at something like that, I would rather have maybe like a 1200 Sportster, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not a cruiser bike person anyway, but like if I had to pick, that's what I would pick. Oh, Jaguar CX-75 Concept. I've always loved that car, and I wish they would make it. And then obviously the F-Type SVR Coupe. Now, back to the main list. Now we get on to Jeep, which is going to be a fun one. 2012 Grand Cherokee SRT8. We've also got a Rally Raid edition of that car, as well as a Monster Truck edition. Then after that, we move on to the JK, which we've got a normal JK, we've got a Rally Raid Evo 1 JK, and a Rally Raid Evo 2 JK, which is... those are going to be fun to drive. Now on to Kawasaki for some bikes. We've got a 1984 GPZ 900R Ninja. This is like, we're talking old school sport bikes here. Then on to some off-road style and some dirt bikes. We've got the KX450F. We've got the KX450F Street Race Edition, which is basically like a dual sport. Then we've got the KX450F Rally Raid Edition. Then on to the Ninja H2, which is a monster. Hashtag do it with Dan. And then on to the Z1000 ABS. And then that's about it. I thought there was more for Kawasaki, but I guess that's about it. Now on to Koenigsegg. We've got the Agera R and the Regera. I love the Regera, but man, the Agera R would have to be the one for me. That thing is just so freaking cool. It's so cool. It's an amazing, incredible car to drive. Now onto the KTM motorcycles. And if there's one motorcycle company that I just love the way their bikes look, it's KTM. The 1190 RC8R is a badass looking bike. I can't imagine it's very comfortable, but it looks incredible. Now onto the 1290 Super Duke R. That thing is a beast. The 450EXC and the 450EXC Street Race Edition. I love how they like give you the option to run these as like dual sports. It's really cool. EXC Red Bull Edition and 450 Rally. Now, back to the main list, we get on to Lamborghini now. The Aventador LP700-4 and LP700-4 Rally, or not Rally Edition, sorry, Drift Edition. Then on to the Gallardo LP570 Super Trofeo, which is an awesome car. Now, the normal street car, the 570 Super Leggera. Then the Huracan and the Huracan Super Trofeo. We've got the classic Miura. We've also got the classic LP640 Murcielago. That thing is so cool. We've also got a drift edition of the LP640. That's amazing. As well as the Murcielago RGT. That thing's wild. And the Veneno. Because you kind of have to have the Veneno, you know what I mean? Now on to Lancia, the Delta S4, and the Rally 037. Not really that big of a list, but there's some really cool cars in there. On to Lotus now. The Evora GTE, the Exige S, and the Exige S Rallycross Edition. Honestly, like, kind of curious as to why there's not like an older release in there, but still. Now onto Maserati, the Gran Turismo S, which is one of my favorite sounding factory cars of all time. The Gran Turismo S Touring Car Edition, the MC12, and the MC12 Race Car, which, oh my god, they're both just, the street car and the race car are freaking amazing. Now we've got the ND Miata, we've got the ND Miata Touring Car Edition, which is actually really cool looking. We've also got the FDRX7 Normal and Drift Editions. Then back to the car list itself to McLaren, we've got the 12C, the 12C GT3, the F1, and the P1, which is an ultimate car. On to Mercedes-Benz now. We've got the 300 SLR. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. We've got the 300 SLR Touring Car Edition. We've got the C63 Black Series, as well as the C63 Touring Car. We've got actually a couple of those. Oh, okay, so this one's the 2016 one. This one's a little older, 2012 one. We've got the AMG GT, which is one of my personal favorite supercars. I love that car. We've got the AMG GT3. We've also got the SL63 AMG and the SL63 AMG Touring Car Edition. The SLR, which is a absolute beast of a car. The SLR 722 GT, which is even more beastly. SLS and SLS GT3, and finishing off with the X-Class truck. Now, on to Mini, which actually, this list is surprisingly bigger than I thought it would be. We've got the 2010 Cooper S Rallycross Edition, Cooper S Touring Car Edition, Cooper Countryman All 4, and then the All 4 Countryman Rallycross Edition. Now, down to MV Agusta. MV Agusta is very, very interesting. This is the F4RR. They're kind of... They're not quite as well known, I think, in the, like, when you talk about general bike knowledge, but they're still very, very cool bikes. Now, on to Nissan, the 370Z, you know, pretty fair, like, we kind of expect that. We've got the Drift Edition, we've got the Drag Edition, then we've also got the Rally Raid Edition, and the Rally Cross Edition, and the Monster Truck Edition, and, not to be outdone, the Touring Car Edition, as well as the Nismo. So, there's a lot here, like a crap ton. We've also got a Drift Edition of the Nismo, and one of my favorites, the Fairlady, the original 1970 Fairlady. I love those cars. We've got a Rallycross edition of that. We've got the 2015 GTR. We've got the R34 GTR. And as well as a drag edition of the R34, a Rally Raid edition of the R34, and a Rallycross edition of the R34. The list goes on, dude, for the R34. We've got a Monster Truck R34. We've got a Touring Car R34. And that's about it for Nissan. Now on to, what are the... Oh, okay. North American, like... aircraft, I guess. I don't really know much about planes, but this is a P-51 Mustang. We've also got another P-51 Mustang in a different livery, so those are very cool. Now on to Pagani. We've only got 3, but still, they don't need any more than that to be awesome. We've got the Huayra, we've got the Zonda F, which is one of my favorite cars of all time, and the Zonda R. My favorite Pagani of all time is still the Cinque, but I mean, we've got like really, really close to that, so... Let's see, we've got the Peugeot 3008 DKR Maxi, which that thing should be a beast to drive. These are some more planes. These are actually really, really cool. I'm not too sure, I'm not too sure on the specifics with the planes, but they're still very, very cool. On to Porsche now. 911 GT3 Cup car. I love the fact that we can drive a Cup car on the street. That's freaking badass. We've got the GT3 RS. We've got the 918. We've also got the 959 Raid, which is very cool. Now moving along to, what even is this? Oh, okay. These are like proto. I guess they're like, oh, that's that crazy race car. And then the Brawler, which is like a swamp boat. We've got the Buggy. We've got the Hornet, which is another, I think, like swamp boat style deal. We've got the HUP1, which is like a classic car, and a touring car edition of that same car, which is insane looking. We've got another Proto Leopard, which is another like swamp racer boat. Got a speedboat, and then another speedboat, which is, this thing is nutty. Look at that. That looks like a spear. We've got another, let's see, a Sportsman NZ edition and a hovercraft. That thing's going to be hilarious. Now on to Red Bull. We've got the RB13. That is legitimately probably as fast as you're going to go around a racetrack in this game. Probably about as fast. This is the new Renault Megane R.S. This is now into rough. It's actually some really interesting things here because considering that we have Porsche and rough, it's cool to have that comparison. So we have the 3400K, we have the 3400K Drag Race Edition, 3400K Rally Raid Edition, and CTR3. The CTR3 is beastly, and also the CTR3 Drag Edition. So on to Saleen now. We've got the S7 Twin Turbo and the S7R, which are both badass cars. They're going to be really fun to drive. This is, Shelby. I don't know why I didn't recognize the logo. So we've got the 67 GT500, 67 GT500 drift car, and the 67 GT500 touring car, which that thing is a monster. Now on to Slick Aircraft. Let's see, 360 horsepower, 360, or well, I guess 360 HP. I don't know if that is referencing horsepower. I suppose it is. But this is the Supermarine Spitfire. And let's see, onto Suzuki, we just get the RM Z450, which is a dirt bike, basically. TVR for the Sagaris, and Vector for the V40R boat. Now onto Volkswagen. Not too much here. We've got the Mark 7 GTI. Actually, well, yeah, Mark 7 GTI. And let's see, Race Touareg 3 and Touareg NF. Now, Waco Aircraft, I guess Waco, I guess is how you pronounce it. We've got some biplanes, which are going to be fun. And finishing off with, let's see, Zivco Edge 540 V3, which are also planes. So that is the entire list of vehicles in the Crew 2. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click that like button. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time. Talk to y'all later.